Alright, give me a split second here to start getting some settings configured. Audio sounds fine at my end for the game. Let's hear how my audio sounds for my actual voice. May be good, it may be bad, but there's only one way to find out. Not too bad. I just need to really lower my end a little, and we should be good. Let's go about there. Yeah, that'll work. If it needs to be changed, let me know. In the meantime, let's toss that to the side. Get your mouse off the screen, as best you can anyway, and hop into the big, beautiful world of Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. 3-heart run. When we last left our intrepid hero, he had just conquered the mini-dungeon in Akana to get the Elegy of Emptiness. So in this episode, in theory we might finish the game, kinda just depends on my energy level. If you'll notice, from last week outside of Icarus Plays on Sunday, I didn't do any streaming that week. And the reason for that was because I had a test coming up that I took today that I thought was going to be really hard, and then I finished 50 questions in under 15 minutes. So, clearly I over-prepared, but I had not had a test from that professor for years, didn't remember exactly how he did it, and I figured better safe than sorry. So really I don't regret it. And on top of that, I was thinking about streaming instead of today, maybe on Tuesday, and then I got food poisoning, so that wasn't really an option after that. Which is another reason I was half concerned about not doing well on that test, because review day, like in-class review day, would have been Tuesday, but since I got sick starting Monday night, and it was pretty much throughout most of Tuesday, again, wasn't really an option. But unfortunate circumstance aside, is there anything else we need to grab before we go in here? I mean, we need, like, arrows and bombs. I know that. Let's see. Andrew Cafe quest, Andrew Cafe quest. Andrew Cafe quest. That's inside the final dungeon, and that's, obviously, Deity Mask. Max bombs, max arrows. Don't need any pieces of heart. Map's good. We get that in the dungeon. That's in Final Dungeon. That's the item for getting all the fairies. Oh, right. That's in Andrew Cafe Cycle. I was like, I don't remember where the last bottle is, but yeah, that's Andrew Cafe. Gotcha. Alright, let's grab some collectibles, and then we'll head onward to the dungeon, where presumably lies a troll. Thought you ought to know. I really should go rewatch the first movie. It's been a long time since I've seen it. I know a lot of people aren't big on the earlier ones because they're too little kiddish, for lack of a better term. But really, that's just due to the fact that, in theory, the books were designed to be where, you know, it was accessible to an 11-year-old for their first book, 12 years old for the second, so they kind of grow up with the books. That said, I feel like there's a pretty big jump between 3 and 4, so like the first 3 I could say would work for 11, 12, and 13. 14 I would like wait till maybe 15, potentially 16, depending on the personality of said child, or teenager, or whatever you prefer. I don't really care so much about max bombs, but I would like max arrows. Also, let's steal from that guy, because why not? Might as well. He doesn't need that money. Alright, so how's that for bombs? 25? Yeah, honestly, that I feel good with 25. I'm totally down for that. Alright, so I will go ahead and give you the warning now. Though, I'm not going to say I made the first 3 dungeons look easy. But I do know the first 3 dungeons leaps and bounds better than this final one, and that's because I don't really care for this final dungeon, well, final main dungeon, at all. I'm just not big on it in the slightest. Like, the mechanic for it is cool, but I don't like the design in terms of, like, colors and whatnot, because it's in the desert, so of course everything is kind of bland and just generally gross. I don't care for the boss. I think it's just kind of a hack and slash. I don't care of having to play the song and I just, like, and the big thing, of course, that everybody will rag on, I really don't care for... Wait, what am I doing? I don't need to do this. I really don't care for the upgrade you get from the Stray Fairies for completing this one. It's, bar none, the worst of the 4. Which is why I'd almost consider just not getting it at all. Am I just being an idiot here? This is either the fairies or the entrance to... Yeah, this is the fairy fountain. Like, if there's any one area that kills my my playthroughs in Majora's Mask, it's pretty much this point right here. Like, up through the mini-dungeon's fine. There's not much to really do here. Outside of the story mode stuff, you can fight the Post Sisters, and you can do the little optional, very small dungeon that's like at the bottom of the waterfall, where you can refight some of the mini bosses like Wart and the Wizrobe for the umpteenth time. But this section right here, I just don't care for at all. And like even going up to the temple is not that bad. I kind of like the puzzle. I think the first time you see it, it's a bit overwhelming, and if you've ever seen, like, Zelda Dungeon's guide for it, the pictures on it do not make it look any better. It just makes it look like, holy crap, this is going to be really confusing. How am I supposed to be able to do this? No, I thought I would take 2 bombs. It's not. But for anybody that hasn't seen this before, the gimmick of this area is... There we go. Is basically you go across 3 sets of switches in order to get them to create a platform to go across the area, and you have to hold those switches down by playing the Elegy of Emptiness as yourself, Zora Link, or Goron Link. Deku Link, again, is too light, so it doesn't work. But you have to figure out what order the switches are, which is why that first switch I passed up earlier, because it wasn't the right one. And so you kind of have like a puzzle where you have to figure out 1, 2, 3, which order they go in. Is it, in this case, it's 2, 3, 1. You know, so nice little 23 is number 1 reference, I guess. I guess I'm gonna have to ditch the bunny hood for this area. Just I don't want to. But, like, even this mechanic isn't... Like, I think this is okay. I think it could have gone through maybe 1 less rotation, but... Honestly, it starts to prep you, and not in a good way, for the fact that you'll be playing the Elegy of Emptiness a lot. Which is why it's so much easier for me to remember this song compared to New Wave Bossa Nova, even though I've played the 4th area much less frequently than the 3rd. That and the Elegy is a little bit easier to remember because it's just right, left, right, and then you start with down and just work counterclockwise in all the remaining compass directions. So really you only have to memorize 4 buttons, which isn't that bad. So again, interesting idea for a puzzle. I thought that bat was coming after me. And I guess it's not too bad here, but like, you're gonna see, not this in particular, but you'll see more of this puzzle style of having to stop switches with the Elegy in the temple, and they do it a little bit too much for my liking. Right here, you can lock the 3 spots in place if you want to by holding the switches down, or you can just continue on. And since you're probably doing this in one sitting, or at least this area before starting the temple, since there is another warp at the top of it, really, there's no need. You might as well just keep going on. Well, that was clearly wrong. Oh, come on, I got out of the way of that. Don't even give me that. Alright. I'm gonna guess it's 312 or... Let's just do this. Hi. Oh, never mind. I guess it's... Oh, no, I bet I know what it is. It's probably 213. If I had to guess. Instead of going up to 3, we go back down to 1, and the third one shows up last. That's probably what it is. I think you do this 3 times. And the last one probably is 312, if I had to guess. Yeah, that's what it's looking like. I thought I was about to just clip straight through that bat, I'm not gonna lie. So hopefully everybody's doing alright on this final day of February. Coincidentally, it is my dad's birthday today. He is now almost 60. One more year and he'll be 60, officially. And he celebrated his birthday in the best way I can think of humanly possible. He's at the ranch, so it's nice and quiet here. And my mom has long since fallen asleep because she has been babysitting all day long, and that is not within her capable energy. And she knows this, but she does it anyway. So I don't expect any noise from anything aside from the occasional car and or plane. Which would be nice. A very odd change of pace, but welcome nonetheless. And the upside is if I feel decent enough energy-wise to go for a while, I actually don't have class on Friday at all. Because the one professor I have class on Friday with will be out of town. Or actually, he probably already left. If I remember correctly, he already left. It's so creepy how when they're standing still, they still blink. It's like, ugh. Something unnerving about that. Also, if you're uncomfortable making these jumps right here, you can, well, A, roll, or B, you can actually just put the bunny hood back on and make it a little bit easier. Alright, come on, that was cheap and you know it, game. Don't even go there. Dude, why are these everywhere now? Supposed to go there? Oh yeah, I guess so. I was gonna say, that seems a bit far, but alright. Thanks for the arrows? I guess? We just like straight up going to the top here? Like what's... I feel like I'm missing something here. Like we're clearly almost there. Oh no, there it is. Yeah, it's the last one right here, and this is a nice and easy one. But first and foremost, before I inevitably get knocked off into the ravine somehow, some way. I'm not gonna capture this because again, for anybody just joining in, I am limiting myself to one fairy on top of it being a 3-heart run. But I can still use the fairy to regain my life like that. If I remember right, it's left, right, center. No, that's not right. Maybe it is right, left, center. I'm pretty sure center is the last one. Yeah, that's definitely the first one. I guess the elegy does sound kind of nice. That, honestly, that's kind of up there with a song you'd never really hear get remixed. I remember for a while there was a song in Twilight Princess. It's one of the Wolf songs. And I can pick most of them out pretty easily. But I thought for the longest time, one of the ones that I couldn't pick out was that song. Because it's like, what a vague song to throw in there. Like, when you think of the Elegy of Emptiness, you usually think about doing what I'm doing right now, is making the statues in order to keep a switch down. You don't really think about the song itself. It's not like the Song of Healing or anything like that. It just doesn't typically resonate as much. Probably because you hear it 86 billion times, but what do I know? Alright. That little precursor taken care of. Time to head into the final dungeon. Whoa, watch that frame rate tank. That was in my game, by the way. That was not on y'all's end or on OBS. That was straight up the game doing that. Alright, let's do it. I'm gonna have to try to remember where everything is, because honestly, this is the one temple I really struggle with remembering. A, where to go, and B, where the fairies are. I know there's obviously one from hitting the switch up there, but if I recall, it appeared... The chest itself appears upside down. Oh, no, it doesn't. Okay, never mind. That's already a good start. I was wrong about the first thing I guessed on. Bye! Take a nice little swan dive there. Alright, I can't... Yeah, that one right there will make a chest appear upside down. Because in case you couldn't tell by the fact that the boss symbol is upside down and whatnot, the gimmick of this temple is you can literally turn it upside down, but you need the dungeon item before you can do that. And we don't have it. But we will soon. If I remember right... Oh, no, you can't go that way. If I remember correctly, though, you're supposed to go to the right first. Nope, that was completely false. Never mind, it is left. I guess now I can stick the bunny hood back on. I will give the dungeon credit for one thing, though. You do have to use every single transformation mask, Deku, Goron, Zora, at some point for different puzzles, and I do appreciate that. I do always appreciate when the dungeon, at least in some capacity, has the ideal of, like, use everything that you've learned so far, or use every item you've acquired so far in order to get through these puzzles. I know I just heard another one. Where is he? There he is. Let's just go ahead and get rid of that right now. I think you need both of these technically, but this is a little bit faster than playing the Elegy of Emptiness in additional time. Maybe you do need them all, though. I don't think you do. Where's that last one? Is he over by the exit? No, actually, I think you do need them all. No, wait, maybe you don't. Maybe you just need the... Never mind. Either way, at minimum, you need one crate in order to keep the switch down, and then either 3 Elegy of Emptinesses, one of which is... Oh, well, no. You need all 3. The Goron having to be on the giant switch, or 2 of which where the Goron still needs to be on the giant one. Is it just 2? Yeah, it's just 2. Okay, so if you manage to keep both boxes intact, you can cut off a little bit of time there. Honestly, it's roughly the same time probably to carry the box over as it is to watch the cutscene for it. this can be exploded. I wasn't standing on that before I dropped down, but okay. Oh, I guess these aren't the active ones. There are active ones, they must be in the ones in the lava, I guess. Or those two. Might be the two across the way. Well, that was a mess. But we got there in the end, and if I recall, this is a key? No, it is the map. Okay, well, I was wrong about that. Grab these. This might be a fairy if you kill him. This the key? Actually, yeah, this is probably the key, because I'm pretty certain there was a key in this room. There's a key. Nice. That makes me feel a little bit better that I was at least right about there being a key in this room. I completely forgot the map was in here, though. Alright, let's continue. I remember this room. You have to jump out of the water as a Zora at one section. I just don't remember where. I think it's just here. Yeah, just anywhere there. Alright. The problem is the boundary's pretty high, and I don't think you're actually supposed to. It's just you can, and it makes it a lot easier. I'm also going to kill that Deskbro or whatever it is. No, that's not the Deskbro. I don't remember what those are called, actually. The Deskbro's the giant, like, skeleton fish. There we go. Nice. Key. Supplies. Oh, I was trying to figure out what that noise was. It was that guy. I was a little concerned there. Not sure if we can get that right now. I'm going to ignore that Beamos. We can't get either of those. Alright, well in that case, let's continue on. Oh, man, the Zora swimming feels so freaking nice. I can't believe they never got it down, like, as well as they did here after that. That just baffles me. Well, if I remember correctly, this is a shortcut back to the entrance, but it also unblocks the compass. So I might as well go ahead and grab that. This is a lot more muscle memory than the previous three were. Emphasis on the muscle. Sweet. Alright. Oh, of course he didn't turn around. Already had it. Alright, there we go. That works. I remember there being a lot of crap in here. I know these guys infinite spawn. I also know it's one of these corners that's the correct That's one of the chests in here. That's the easy one, unfortunately. The other one is a lot tougher to snag. So basically what you want to do here is kill as many of those things as you can, because they're going to infinite respawn. And while they're dead, keep the light reflected on the sun shield, or on the mirror shield, for as long as you can. Hopefully that'll give you enough time to get rid of these things. I know you'll have a little... Yep. What's his face guarding it? I'll learn him. Punch him so hard he exploded. Right, now for the part where we actually try to get out of here. Trying to get them all to spawn in so I can kill them all at once. Is there a third one, or is it just the two? Yeah, I think it's just the two. Alright, get over here. I'm impressed it gave that to me in time. I honestly did not think it was going to. Alright, let's get out of here. I think these have... well, those. I was gonna say, I think they're 20 rupees in each. Are you serious? You're just gonna stick me in a corner? Alright, fine. Cheap. As a cheap way to try to kill someone, game. Actually, I think one of them is down here. But you might need to glide to a switch first. I know one's a switch at the very bottom, and you race, like, across the lava section to get to it. Oh no, the other one's just here? Alright, well that's a lot easier than I thought it was. Let's see if I can do this correctly. This is actually kind of hard to do. Come on. Yeah, I had a feeling. There we go, nice. Only 2 tries, I'll accept that. Since I think the first time I had to do that puzzle, it took me closer to about 30. You probably also could jump into the fire as a Deku or a Zora, and it would work back to the front, but I'm not sure if it would keep the switch down, and I'm not going to gamble on it. Well, I feel like we're making decent progress. The problem is this temple has a very bad habit about doing that with how the stray fairies are scattered around. You'll pick up like 3 or 4 in pretty quick succession and think, oh yeah, I'm doing pretty good all of a sudden here. And also that happens. Yeah, you really don't want to get hit by that either. Okay, good. This chest does stay there. Excellent. So that's number 5 or 6? 5. Next, we have a boss of the mini variety. It is a Garo. A Master Garo. Well, you teleported behind me and I couldn't get the camera to cooperate. Come on now. Camera, I can't see when you do that. Yep. Thanks, camera. Appreciate you. We're actually gonna lose this guy, too. Aha! Do not forget these words. Die shall, leaving no corpse. And then he explodes. So, cool the guys don't look at the explosions. What happens if you are the explosion? Does that just make you, like, the coolest guy? Does that, in fact, hark back to a time of early internet days where you were, in fact, the guy? No matter, we get the Arrow of Light, otherwise known as the Light Arrow. And though it's not as strong as its Wind Waker counterpart, which can just blast through about anything that's not a boss, and even then you have to use it on some bosses, it's still pretty dang good. Is it up on the... It might be down here. Well, if I could see what I was doing, that would be even more helpful. There's a way to get out of here, right? Outside of the obvious of warping back to the entrance. The problem is it's entirely possible this chest is something you come back to later. I honestly do not remember. So I'm going to assume it's something you come back to later and not worry about it for the time being. In the meantime, let's fight a different mini-boss. Hello. Oh, okay. Yeah, sometimes the light arrows, because of like their weird little radius on the actual damage of the light, will actually double shot. And that's what it did just then. It's supposed to take 3 hits. But because his stun doesn't last very long when you hit him, it actually counted as 2 hits there. Not that I'm complaining, mind you. Now we're back at the beginning here. soon as this thing stops having a seizure. This should spawn the upside down chest, correct? Bingo. Alright, so while I could go and turn the temple upside down, the first thing I'm going to do is grab any chests that I can while the temple's right side up. And I'm going to just pretty much go the exact same pathway I did prior. To be honest, this is probably going to be the easiest way for me to remember. Well, if I get to do this again, I'll just take the other way and just go backwards through that section. Not exactly a fan of that one. Any sun emblems? Here, come on. Alright. Suit yourself. Yep, do it. The second you act like you don't care, that's always the moment they come after you. Almost without fail. Alright. I know there's some sun targets you can hit, but you have to do that after you flip the temple. This was the only one that came to immediate mind that I could get now. Just gonna ignore that guy. The upside to actually collecting the stray fairies is they give you your health back. Yeah, I knew I did that too late. Camera! Don't think... Yeah, I actually don't need to hit that second one, because that just activates the switch, but again, you can just do a little quick spin and get it that way, so a little bit easier. I think coming back for that. Yeah, I think we're coming back for that later. Ignore that. All this stuff will be done later. Actually be just that one dude for right now. I'm going to assume it is for the time being. The right one? One of these will reveal the emblem. There it is. On one hand, it's a real shame that they can't make the statues look like Link plus whatever non-transformation mask he's wearing, if he was wearing one. But at the same time, that would take a lot of time to do with every single mask in the game. You could make some cool designs, I'm sure, but... man, that would be quite the chore. Alright. Let's fall into the sky. Don't ask how he landed on, you know, solid ground and didn't pull a Code Lyoko and just fly up into the atmosphere. Which I guess technically falling up like that isn't dangerous as long as it's within the confines of space and time. But once you go into space, you're going to be a little in trouble there. The upside is, depending on the velocity and how fast you're going towards that, you might black out long before you actually, you know, get killed by that, so you might be okay. At least in that regard. Also, the sky here looks really cool at night whenever it's all full of stars and what have you. Also, the chest in question that it's showing is, if the game would be so kind, it's that one up there. No, it's not there. It's even farther up, actually. I don't think it's spawned in yet. Must be something else I gotta do. Yeah, please don't make me fall up there. Or down, whatever you prefer. Just get rid of that. Now we're back in the room where all that water was. Except now, it is water no more. Camera. Wow, that's impressive. You managed to take 3 hits in one sitting there. Beautiful. Alright, seriously, enough picking on the Deku. Knock it off. Dude, come on. Don't even go there. Just hit him. Just hit him. You have the hook shot. Come on. There you go. Making it way harder than it needs to be. Yeah, I didn't think so. Magic and arrows, for obvious reasons. Like so. That's another upside down one, which we'll have to flip to get back. The chests will still appear on your map, even if they're, you know, not activated yet by whatever the powers may be. I think the other one was an ice-based one, correct? Yes, I know I can't afford to really take that damage, but whatever. Yeah. This one I think we can get right off the bat. But I could be wrong here, too. No, one's right set up for now. Camera. Thanks. Appreciate you. Camera. Camera. I'm hitting L and nothing is happening. Camera. Camera, I get concerned when you do things like that. I'm not pressing anything on the control stick right now. It is really unnerving. Let's try the other one, I guess, because I know it doesn't send you as high up into the sky, so maybe that will work a little bit better. Yeah, I think we actually just have to sit here and wait for it to let us drop all the way down. Come on. There we go. Ah, what a time we live in. I swear there used to be another way you could do this, but I guess we're gonna do it this way. Which is wonderful, coupled with the, you're about to die noise. Thankfully, if this is a fairy, which I think it is... Yay, a full heal, which means, more importantly, we don't have to deal with that obnoxious sound anymore. And that's the true victory. Alright, you do you, and then I'll figure out whatever you're trying to do with the camera here. Apparently, send me into that. Cool. Glad we figured that out. Meanwhile, is there another platform we can land on and actually get some semblance of what we're trying to do? Okay, so we need a key. I can work with that. That's a start. But I'm not sure. Oh, no, there's a switch over there. Alright, we can try for that. I thought it was going to be that upside down switch, but maybe it actually isn't. Well, that kind of solved the problem. The other issue is there's no treasure chest there. And we do need a key. Unless on the off chance that's the key. I don't think it is, which means only one thing. Yeah, no, I'm not fighting you a second time. You already got your limelight. Aha! I remember seeing that when we swum through this earlier. Get out of here. You already got your spotlight once. Alright, that should be key. That is key. Now that we have key, we can unlock door with key. Because of this key is good. Alright, this room. I forgot about this one. This is what we call artificially draining the character's magic. You pretty much just have to hit this thing over and over. I don't even think there's actually anything in here. At least not while it's like this. And if you're playing normally, you probably wouldn't even bother doing that. You'd probably just run across it. You have like 19 or 18 hearts at this point. You'd have well over 15 is the point. Oh yeah, and this puzzle too. Infinite respawning arrows of magic in order for you to get that block over there. Oh, do you have to push it, really? Huh, I thought you could pull it. I guess not. Wow, that did not appreciate what was going on. Yikes. Can't say I've ever seen that happen before. Pickup will fall with you. I would assume it would. No, it just completely clipped through the wall there. I saw that. Like, everything else turned around, but the arrows stayed exactly where they were. Really, these things are more nuisance. Like, I get why they put them there, in case you somehow can't figure out the puzzle. But in this instance, it's just like, I'll restock when it's time for me to leave. That'd have been hilarious if he had intercepted that, that light arrow. Yeah, see, it only takes 4 arrows minimum, so it's not too bad. You really can't pull this. Oh, I'll bet it was because I was on an inclined platform. That's why it wouldn't let me pull it back. That's probably what it was. Oh well. There's block. Block opens door. And because I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and snag that. Well, it didn't care about the arrows, but sure. Why not? Oh, right. Yeah, you fight him in here again. A couple times, I think. Long time no see, nerd. Hope you like light arrows. I guess 2 is probably enough to knock him into phase 2. Yep. You like that spot up there, huh? Alright, enjoy. That's the chest that will let you continue on. I'm gonna guess the other one's probably on the ceiling, or would be on the ceiling, rather. Like, I see the one right here, but... I don't know if this isn't open. Okay, I was gonna say, ones that are open don't appear on your map anymore. I thought that one had been opened. Number 10. Wow, really? Already 10? I know the last, like, 2 or 3 are pretty time-consuming to get, though. There's Poe. Hello. Alright, goodbye. I'll just do my thing if you want to just hang out and be a ghost. I was genuinely curious to see if that would damage him, and sure enough, it actually did. I would not expect that attack of all things to damage a Poe, but... Alright, so you've got these really annoying enemies that are in here, and if I remember correctly, you can just stone mask straight past them. Yeah. You're supposed to wait for them to drop and then shoot a light arrow at that, like, not flashing point, but what's clearly their weak point, but you could also just not do that. Elegy? Yeah, Elegy. Had a feeling. When in doubt, the switches are ones that have to stay pressed down. Unless it's something that spawns a chest, because they don't ever do that. You can't really despawn a chest in this game. I guess they probably never did the coding for that, which is why it can't happen. But things like flame switches and whatnot, yeah, those can totally just turn off. I'm gonna guess a key. Correct. Because the stray fairy chests are different. We're gonna have the map and compass and dungeon items, so really, unless it's the big key, which also is a different item, which also has a different chest, is not much option. Interesting the Poe's still see this on. Nothing else in this room? Alright. Move swiftly onwards then. I want to reopen that. Get out of here. It does seem like of all the transformation masks, though, the Deku seems to get its time to shine the most here. Which I guess is fair, because that's probably the one you've gone the longest without using. That one's open. Treasure chest is just behind the mini-boss dude that's up there. which is one of the last masks we have to pick up. Which I guess is technically also a dungeon item, but I feel like the light arrows are more of the dungeon item than anything here. So this gives you a nice little trick for anybody that ever wants to make money. You guys should know this by now. You shoot these guys with light arrows, they will always drop, well, assuming you're at full health, they'll always drop 50 rupees. And even though I've not been using my sword much, I'm not going to keep that curse on me. Let's just get rid of it. Plus an excuse to listen to the Song of Storms is always appreciated. Now let's fight this guy, whose name I cannot remember, but he's a really cool mini-boss. Seriously, they should have just let you fight this guy twice instead of the Wizrobe again. I would have been very okay with that. Because this guy's actually pretty dang cool. So idea is very simple. Oh, that's why I wasn't getting the 50 rupees. I thought I had light arrows equipped. Forgot I shot the bombs. So, shoot the light arrow as soon as the game will be so kind. Game, I need to see what I'm doing. Thanks. I thought he killed me right there, not the other way around. I was 100% certain he killed me just then. Because I kept rotating left every other time, but it was easier to go right that last one. Heart? Good, stop that infernal noise. Nobody wants to hear that, let's be real. I've never met a single person who plays the series, or has even heard of the series, that thought, you know, that, like, really low beeping noise, I always enjoyed that. I don't know why they took it out. If you do exist out there, you should probably go see a doctor, because that doesn't sound very healthy. You need to start living a better lifestyle, man. Yes, those are just hearts. Alright. Oh, right, that was the boss key. I was like, so what did that accomplish exactly? Alright, now I can show it. 50 rupees every single time. Great way to make money and get the required amount of 5,000 for the bank in order to get the Peace Mart, if you need it. Oh, there it is. Okay, I was gonna say, it must be back on the other side. This really does look cool at night, though, with the stars below you. That's something I wish I could do, but it's still too cold, is to be able to go out and stargaze for a little while. But it's gotta be not, like, 10 degrees outside for me to, you know, do that and enjoy it. Alright, so we have a key. Now I just gotta remember what we're actually supposed to do with it. Just jump that. Yep. That's how that spawns. Okay. So I think at this point, if I remember correctly, you can just straight up end the dungeon here, because you've got the boss key, the map, the compass, and hookshotting that chest will take you pretty much to the boss. There's like one room before it, but, you know, for all intents and purposes, it takes you to the boss room. Yeah, because there's the remaining key. Oh, right, right, I forget you had to fight this guy again. Even though I mentioned it earlier. You're gonna do that thing where you're not gonna attack with the right move, huh? And that can't be blocked either, that's good. Yeah, see, it just did it again. Maybe he does only take 2 hits, but I could have sworn he takes 3. Plus, it's usually a pretty decent assumption that it's 3. And now you get one of probably the saddest masks in the game. The Giant's Mask that lets you turn gigantic, but you can literally only use it in this boss fight. It has less usage than the Deity Mask. That was stupid. Why did I do that? Also, that's why you would come to the boss room before getting out of here, is because that chest was on the ground floor like I thought initially, but you have to hit that switch to get to it. And the reason it's on the ground normally is because it's on the roof up here to get you up to where the boss door is. Skip across. There's the boss door. You get the idea. But instead, since we're going for everything... if you play the Song of Soaring inside of a dungeon, just lets you go to the entrance. A little bit easier than trying to mess around with Furor's Wind, which has that weird, like, quick save-esque thing that they used to do back in the day. Where it's just a case of, you can sort of save, but the second you load it, the save's technically gone, so it's a temporary save. Which I'm not really big on. Or big gore on. Oh, also there's like a bunch of chests across the way, but they're not anything worthwhile. And I'm actually glad it sent me back here. Because A, arrows and magic, and B, I lost my fairy earlier. And because this boss is simultaneously the easiest and hardest boss of the 4, you'll see what I mean if you haven't seen it before. There we go, good grief. Probably just a case trying to do it too fast. It's almost like I'm trying to get this dungeon as fast as I can. To get the dungeon done as fast as I can, rather. Well, sounds like it's raining outside, but I know for a fact that's wrong. It's probably just the wind blowing. If rain had gotten predicted in the forecast, I'm pretty sure I would have known, because this has been one of the driest winters we've had thus far in quite a while, and it's awful. Like, I don't particularly care for snow, but like a little bit of rain would have been nice. There we go. Try to play it a little bit slower here. Though that might be the last time we have to play it, actually. Well, maybe there's a few chests we need to play in order to get to it, but we'll see. So yeah, I guess in terms if you're not going for the fairies, the dungeon's actually pretty dang short. It's just very much a, like, I'm glad I could muscle memory it, because I feel like of all the dungeons, if I didn't know what I was doing, that would probably be the worst, and like, even over Grey Bay. I feel like that one would be worse. So that's 11. Where are the remaining ones? One on this floor, and 2 there. across that way? Yeah, I'm just gonna ignore that guy. Ugh. Yeah, I'll take the long way, thanks. This will still be faster. In fact, we can actually get the one in here now. Oh, this is gonna be fun to try to land on. Let's just go around. Much better. No, you're gonna stay there. There you go. Just when you thought you'd collected all the underwater stray fairies. Yeah, I guess that one wasn't mentioned on the map. It says there's another one in this room? Is it? Oh, I didn't even hit that switch when I came in here initially. This is probably going to spawn one the other way around, isn't it? Yep, it totally is. Well, I gotta go back for that then. Though I think that solves where the remaining ones are, because that just spawned 13 in there. 14's also on this floor, and then 15 was on floor 1. So that's where the remaining ones are. Yeah, I'm not gonna fight you. Thanks, but no thanks. This way? No, this isn't it. Oh no, this is right. Or no, it's sort of right. Like, this is the room you're supposed to be in, but it's supposed to be on the gated section. Yeah, a little too late there, bud. Also, I don't know why, but this music, at least some segments of it, definitely remind me of the carnival music that plays in Ikana. And I really would rather just not be reminded of that. Dark times those were. Oh, I cannot believe he let me get away with that. I thought for sure I was going to get hit by that bomb. Camera, don't do that. You know better. Yeah, here it is. Cool. 13? 14. 13. Had it right the first time. Okay, so 14 is lower basement. Where's that one? Actually, I might know where that is. That might have been another one I skipped. I don't know why I just put on the Goron mask when I was about to teleport out of here. I need to get my head examined. If I need to teleport out of here, just puts on the Goron mask. Sure, why not? That will clearly teleport you out of here. Yikes, that is not a good sign. Alright. So I actually do need to do this puzzle again, because I remember what's on the other side of it, and I'm pretty sure I know where I need to go. I think there was something in that puzzle where you get the key, it's the room you get the key in the map in, it's got the lava, where you just blow up a piece of the ground and just fall through it. I'm pretty sure he's in there. And it's either a switch I couldn't hit or a switch that I didn't hit. Oh, hi. I was about to say, where did he go? There we go. See, you can play at a reasonable speed. It's not that hard. Sorry for any flashes of light that may temporarily blind you from having to keep doing that over and over. I'll admit, this song does sound best on Ocarina, and I think it's because the notes carry for longer than they do on, you know, the strings or the percussion that is the drums. And I'm not 100% sure how it sounds on the Deku pipes, because I don't hear it that often, because again, doesn't do any good. Okay, I was shielding that entire time. Don't even go there. Get out of here. Where's your little buddy? Goes double for you. Pretty sure it's down here, correct? Alright, what did I miss? That's what I missed. Sure enough. Could have gotten that right from the start and just didn't. Completely forgot about that one. That was on me. Alright. That's 14. At this point, we gotta warp out, because the last one was the switch I hit with Zora, and it was an upside-down chest, so I gotta get it. Gotta get it elsewhere / upside down. Which is fine, because I would have had to flip the temple back regardless, so no big deal. Like, if you're getting everything in this temple, you will have to do 2 passes in terms of right side up and upside down. See, I guess all things considered, it went by relatively painlessly. He says before doing the boss fight. But again, I'm not big on this boss fight, so... Alright, so now we've flipped it upside down. It is in the basement. This way. And we ignore all the things trying to kill us. Because really, we just can't be bothered. Yeah, this should actually be pretty easy to grab if I'm correct in assuming where it is. Oh, was it right initially? Did I have it right initially? You're so eager to fight me a second ago. There we go. I could have sworn I checked the room and nothing was there. Also, I don't know why I did that. I gotta go back up to the surface because you can't play the guitar underwater. Just like real life. Could have sworn I checked that room. Or I got distracted by the other. That's probably what happened, actually. I probably got distracted by the other one. Because I was more likely to remember where it was. Because that room's a little bit harder to access than the one I just went to. really, we should get the full experience out of the temple. We might as well flip it one more time, right? It's just not the same if you're not constantly having to do that. It's like playing the Forest Temple for the first time in Ocarina of Time. Like, you're gonna have to flip the corridors probably 2 or 3 times each before you get the puzzle correct. I think one of them, if you play it, like, correctly, if you play it the dungeon completely correctly, if I'm right, you don't actually have to... I think you don't have to hit it twice. I think you only have to hit one of them once, and then the other one you have to hit twice. The first one that you come across, you have to hit 2 times. Right? Okay, yeah, that's what it was. Because see, now that the temple's flipped upside down, now it's first floor and second floor instead of, like, they're reversed. The lower floor was the one where the chest was on initially, but since it got flipped, it flipped the map as well. Which is a really cool idea, at least in that sense. I mean, just because I don't care for the map doesn't mean I don't think that's, like, not a cool idea. I think it's a really cool idea. I think it's more the ambiance of this area. I don't like the music and don't like how the area is all gross and bland, but it's, like, it's a desert/wasteland, you know, what do you expect? So now this will put out the fire where there actually is a chest. Correct. Dude, I don't know what song you were just trying to play there, but you can whip out your Dragon Force skills later on. Whoa, holy camera. Yeah, smash into every single thing you can as you fall down. I find it more impressive you only took half a heart of damage from that. And with that, we've got all the fairies. Not even gonna bother trying to backtrack when I can just do this. I feel bad for anybody that didn't know about that trick of just being able to use that to sword the entrance, because man, does it help. Alright, we got nothing else to get. We'll get that item shortly. That'll be, this one here will be at the end of the game. That'll be in the Andrew Cafe. Andrew Cafe, Andrew Cafe, Andrew Cafe, end of game. We'll get that from defeating the boss. The 4th remains. Got everything here. Got all the songs. Got the notebook. No pieces of heart necessary. It really does not look like the hookshot should be able to reach that. Also, I forgot this temple ends up leaving you completely filthy, stinking rich. I know I got 100 of that from showing off the hole you can shoot the dudes with light arrows. I almost fell for that trap again, my god. So I got 100 of it from that, but still. Skip over that. There's like some supplies and junk here, but... I want some demon pots, that's good. Bombs, arrows, stuff. I mean, really, the only thing that's important that you have here is max magic. Like, the bombs aren't going to do you any good. Except to kill this guy. Yeah, sure, throw another one, why not? For good measure. But yeah, the only thing you're going to need here is the Giant's Mask and the sword. I think technically you can damage this boss with light arrows, but like... using the sword's gotta be easier than that. Meet the most boring boss in all of Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, and no, I'm not counting Wizrobe because that's not an official boss. Nice try. Twin Mold. The strategy here is to put on the Giant's Mask to make yourself large. And then you hack and slash its heads and tails until it dies. And that is literally all you do. Oh, and you can watch the frame rate go to hell. I was about to say, that red one's got to be close to dead, because he just, like, spun in a circle around me, and that did not work in his favor. Pretty much the only thing you actually have to worry about in this fight is running out of magic. But if you've got the Chateau Romani, then you're set. Should be fine. Also, you can go too far off the stage, and if you do that, then it will, the game will not appreciate it. Pop back out. There you are. See, that blue one's playing the smart game. He's playing the game where he stays underground for so long that I can't see where he is, and he's just draining away my magic by doing that. But he still died. Yet not a great boss. Like, kind of a letdown after... I guess the first one's not that great, but it's the first boss. They kind of have to ease you into it. And that boss is still hard if you don't know that the spin attack is completely broken on him. But like, first boss fight, by and large, pretty good. Second one, good. Third one, good. People say it's too hard, but I think it's fine. It's just as long as you're not doing a 3-heart run, it's fine. Because at that point, you've got like, at least 12 hearts, hopefully. But yeah, that one's kind of just a buzzkill. Thankfully, the actual final boss fights are all really good, but... yeah, just kind of a hack and slash, and that's a little disappointing. Like, the idea of growing giant is great, but I feel like that was the main gimmick of their fight, is you get to be giant. But really, in the instance of being giant there, like, how is that different from basically not fighting two tiny worms in your normal size? I don't know, it just doesn't work for me. I feel like you almost could have flipped that one with the mini-boss that guards the boss key. And, like, had it, you know, do some new attacks and whatnot. And that probably would have worked better for, like, the boss. But, you know. Forgive your friend. Yep. No matter how many times they show up late for recording sessions. Or live streams, rather. Also, another reason I don't really care for this area is the quote-unquote effect of you freeing the spirit of this area. In the swamp, it not drains. It removes all the poison from the water, so it's free to use again. People can safely visit. You know, you free the monkey. Second area, it thaws out winter. Things go back to normal. The Gorons can live without being frozen solid. Third area, the water's no longer murky. The boat shop owner can run his place. The Gerudo can safely do their concert. Here, what does it do? It makes the sky less brown. And that's it. I think it gets the water running again if you haven't done that already in that 3-day cycle, but you could just go and play the Song of Storms. No, it doesn't even do that. Okay, well that's good. I'm glad I've been proved wrong there. But you get what I mean. It doesn't really do anything. Probably because there's really no population for it to affect. No living population, anyway. Alright. Let's see the crap item, which is a shame because it looks really cool. If you want to use this item, go get Soul Calibur 2 on GameCube. It's a lot more effective there. This is the Great Fairy of Kindness. And as a kind gift, she gives you this kick-ass sword. Like, look, that looks really freaking cool. Like, I would, if I could find, like, a really cool, like, sword made like that, like, I'd totally, like, put that up on my wall. It looks amazing. The problem is, despite the fact it's clearly the strongest sword, in fact, it can kill the Lasalthos in one hit, it's a C item, meaning you swing it with the C stick instead of with the B button. And so, as a result, it's really awkward. The swing angle itself is also weird. Here, I'll show you. Yeah, you can still do a spin attack with it. You have to rotate the analog stick and then hit whatever directional the Great Fairy Sword is on. Now I can't do it anymore. So it can't be, it's just, it's awkward. That's basically the downside. And the Gilded Sword is still, in my opinion, plenty good, so. And you get the Gilded Sword, like, relatively early in your adventure, so. We'll let that one go. So with that, the only thing we're missing is the bottle. So the Andrew Cafe stuff. Yeah. It's just the Andrew Cafe stuff plus this item, and we'll get that in the final area. So, if that's the case... See, the thing is, do I even want to show the Andrew Cafe quest? Because if we're going for all the items, we have to do it twice. What time are we at? Out of curiosity. 30, it's like 8 o'clock. It's a Thursday night. You know what? Let's just finish the game. Honestly, like, it's cool to see all that, but it's like, it's a sort of a low percent run anyway. So, let's just have it as is. Just keep the game kind of as, you know, the natural way it is. If you want the long and short of how the Andrew Cafe side quest works, there is basically, and you've kind of heard this if you've been watching the previous things, there is a couple that is set to be married the day after the moon falls. Wait, no, I don't need to go here. They're set up to be married after the moon falls, so technically day 4, even though there is no day 4 until the post-game credits. Anju is the owner of the Stockpot Inn, which we've not gone into because there's been no reason to. There we go. And she was set to be wed to Cafe, but Cafe mysteriously disappeared, and she has no idea where he is. And so she's asking her mom to help look for him. She's trying to look for him and run the inn at the same time. And some people criticize, like, oh, well, he just ran out on you. He got cold feet, and he ran away. And other people are like, yeah, we'll help you find him, so you kind of have a mixed reaction there. Basically, Cafe is, in fact, around the area. He's the kid with the blue hair that wears the Keaton mask. And the reason he's hiding from Andrew is because he got turned into a child by the Skull Kid. And so your ultimate goal is to basically let Andrew know that he's okay, first and foremost, that he has not abandoned Andrew, so she won't run away on the final night, or the final day. Because otherwise she'll go to Romani Ranch to be with her friend, who is the owner there, Cremia. Which is actually where we're headed now. I'm just busy screwing around, mostly. So, with her not running away, you help Cafe get the Sun's mask back, because she has a lunar mask, even though it doesn't have an official name, I don't think. But technically it's a moon-based mask, he has the Sun's mask. And so they reunite pretty much like right before the moon falls. And they give you the couple's mask. The way the path splits is you get a letter that is high priority, and you can either deliver the letter yourself, which will be given to Anju's mom, not her grandmother, her mom. I think the way to do is blow that up to get the Chateau Romani. I think that's correct. And then she will give you, yeah, she'll give you a bottle of the Chateau Romani. Or, instead of delivering the letter yourself, you can just take the letter to the postman and he'll deliver it. And after he delivers it, he gives you the postman's hat and flees because, you know, it's his duty to stay there with the town, but honestly, it's his life and he should probably run for his life. And so that's how you get the hat. So, you get the Keaton mask by Cafe giving it to you, which will show up there. Postman's hat's right there. The couple's mask you get from finishing the overall quest. And then the deity mask would go here. The reason I don't want to show it off is because I don't want to use the deity mask in the final fight, but in order to get the deity mask, as everybody already knows, you have to give up all the non-transformation masks in the game. When you get to the final area, there will be some kids running around. The first kid will ask for 2, the second one for 4, the third one for 6, and the last one for 8, and so that will constitute all the non-transformation ones. They will not take the regular transformation ones, but if you give all of them to him, you'll speak to Majora's Mask at the end, and he'll give you the deity mask, which just basically breaks all the boss fights, in short. Or what? Sorry, that wasn't right. No, I had it right. It was down there right. So I'm gonna say I'm trying to send the flow of time back to normal here. Regardless if you're gonna use the deity strategy or not, I do recommend you grab full magic here. As well as the Chateau Romani, because if you use the deity mask, it uses projectiles that you can fire that do, like, insane amounts of damage. But they require magic. And if not, you're going to be using light arrows, which also require magic. So either way, you're going to need magic, and if you're not going to go with the Chateau Romani, use a green potion, but the Chateau is, like, honestly, it's your best choice. Because then you don't have to worry about it. To remember what I was doing. Really, the biggest downside of not doing the Andrew Cafe quest is we won't see the little cutscene at the end of the game, but no big deal. In short, the cutscenes like that are in the game show all of the people that you saved over your multiple run-throughs of the 3-hour cycle. We'll just stay there then, and wait for the Chateau Romani. It's either 100 or 200 rupees, but we can afford it either way. And so one of the things you'll see, of course, is them getting married, if you've done that. So you've got, like, them getting married, you'll have all the stuff at Lon Lon Ranch, that kind of thing. Otherwise, they just appear as, like, there won't be any cutscene there, it'll just be black, and you'll just see the staff credits roll. Meantime, I think I'm going to just let this play for a split second, use the bathroom, because really we're just going to be waiting for another, like, 2-3 minutes to buy the Chateau, and then warping to the final night, and then waiting for midnight, so really no rush. missed so much. I missed, like, roughly an hour and a half, quote-unquote, in-game time. So in the meantime, Pokemon Sword and Shield, huh? I'm glad Nintendo finally used my idea. Oh, cool, you're gonna kick me out so I can just walk back in an hour's time? Alright, well, I guess you do have to get the bar ready, so I'll give you that. But yeah, it was nice seeing Nintendo use my idea. I appreciate that quite a bit. As for the starters, like everyone else, I'm hoping that it will not be another firefighting type for the fire starter. It's looking like I'm gonna probably go water with mine. That's gonna be my hunch. If both the other two people, if Harmless and Sugar K both pick up a copy of it, and I'm guessing there's a halfway decent chance that will happen, we'll probably all try to pick different starters, but I'm gonna try to lay claim to the water one. I have a feeling Sugar K will probably take the grass, and Harmless Guy will probably take the fire. But maybe that'll change once I see a little bit more about them, such as their evolutions, their basic stats, etc. I'll have a drink. What'll it be? Chateau. Thanks. Bottle is filled with Chateau Romani. Drink to replenish all of your magic power. The drink even improves your stamina. Swirl it around. Yeah, improves your stamina. It really doesn't have anything to do with your stamina. It just keeps your magic completely maxed, and it doesn't ever drop. So you basically have infinite magic. Which is a cool, like, little thing that you can get, honestly. And you can get it relatively early. It does, obviously, go away after you start a new 3-day cycle. But I like the idea of, like, having the infinite magic. That's a really cool... Like, that's something that could only work in the confines of Majora, because, you know, you have to reset, unless you had it only work in, like, certain areas. But if you did that with something like Ocarina, I'm sure it would be a lot easier to find ways to, like, glitch through checkpoints where it checks for things like that, and then all of a sudden you can just have it all over the place and never have to refresh it. I guess in the meantime what we can do is there's two other things I want to show off. Was I going the right way? Try to remember which direction... Yeah, it's east. Okay. I have to check the notebook and see what the password is. We're gonna have to grab... Actually, we don't have to grab the moon sphere. But I want to show something off for it that doesn't get talked about that often. 235.41. Alright. This is just a small little detail. Never really figured out what they were trying to go for the sound effect on that kid. He just sounds like he's bored, I guess. Which, I mean, if you're set on lookout duty, you would be kind of bored. But if that's not what they were going for, I'd love to know what they actually were going for, because I'm not sure. So everybody here has already seen, like, the tried and true cutscene of whenever you look up at the moon, you know, because you do it on the first 3-day cycle. You zoom in on the tower, school kid's there, he slaps his ass, you look up at the moon drops the tear, shakes his ass at you again, and then, you know, so be it. He flies away to his merry little hidey hole, wherever he goes. However, if you do this on the final day, I don't remember if it has to be night of the final day, or if it's just as long as it's in the final day somewhere. I'm gonna move it to night anyway, because there's no reason not to. If I remember correctly, it may have to be, like, during the last moments, like the last 12 hours, I'm not sure, but we'll see. I've only seen this before, like in a video, I've not actually watched it myself, but let's see. Yeah, it does change. Now he's just creepily staring at you. The moon, which is clearly closer than it was before, still drops the tear. You don't need the tier anymore to get up there, though. As long as you weren't a Deku, you can get up there normally. And he just keeps staring at you. Nice and creepy. And that's it. He's just sitting up there waiting. To me, it looks like, at that point, at least in that exact moment in time, like, the Skull Kid is not in any control whatsoever. That is straight up just the Majora's Mask itself, which... Spoilers, if you haven't seen the end of the game before, Skull Kid's being controlled by the mask itself, because the mask is very evil. And it does evil things. But I think it kind of plays on the idea of, like, the longer he has the mask on, the more corrupted he becomes, and that's already been the case, but it's very evident from the difference in days 1 and 2 to day 3. So yeah, in case you're curious why I said you don't need the moons here, you just hop up right there. And there you go. You can do that as a Zora as well. Probably not a Goron, since he can't lift himself, but point is, once you're no longer under the Curse of the Deku, you don't have to use that whole Moons Tier side quest to get anything other than another piece of heart, which is collected by taking the title deed he gives you and giving it to the one in the swamp, and you get a piece of heart for that. Same thing for Ocean, get another one. Same thing for Canyon, get another one. So including this very first one that you pick up, though I guess technically it could possibly be your second if you're going for the Deku game 3 days in a row. You could have gotten that one first. By doing all the title deeds, you basically get a full heart container for it. And I believe the last guy, because they just trade you other title deeds, like the Clocktown one trades you the swamp, or the one that has the swamp trades you the Clocktown for swamp. Swamp trades for Ocean, Ocean trades for Canyon. The Canyon just straight up gives you 200 rupees for it, I think. If I remember correctly. Though I didn't show him, the Canyon guy also sells, Blue Potion. I almost blanked on it. Or not almost, I did blank on it. He also sells Blue Potion, which is a full magic and full life restoration. A Zelda staple. Well, I'm thinking about potions, though. This is assuming the store's even open. I'm break back in an hour. Alright. Let's see if you actually are on back in an hour. I'm curious. I know the Curiosity Shop's, like, open really late, but I'm not sure about the main store here. What a weird time to take a break for your shop, like 9 o'clock at night. Like, it'd be one thing to have it close at 9, like, that's pretty normal, but to be on a 1 hour break from 9 to 10, that's kind of weird. Oh, he's not here. I don't think I've seen this before. Yeah, he's just straight up not here. I mean, he runs the Curiosity Shop, so... My history of tools not for sale. Well, that's nice. So yeah, that's kind of weird. He's, well, I mean, not surprising. A little creepy, but yeah, he's not here at all. Alright. That's good to know. What's up? Shall we dance? Let's do it! Would you like to learn it? Nah. Might as well let the Scarecrow get out of here, too. Not that he's in any danger, since he's, you know, since we're about to go stop everything. I think the only people in the end that don't desert the town are the guards patrolling. Because, you know, for the first 3-day cycle, that would kind of ruin things. Her, the bombers, which is really sad when you think about it. The kids either can't leave because the guards won't let them, or won't leave. And then there's like a couple other shopkeepers that won't, or that don't choose not to leave. Most of them do, though. I should actually check. I'm sure somebody's done a list of that, of the people, like, on the night of the final day or in the final 12 hours that don't leave. Andrew and Cafe obviously don't leave if you do the quest. The salesman doesn't leave if you don't do the quest. I guess the swamp guy would take his place too if you did the quest and then came back. I don't remember about the dancers. I don't remember if they leave or not. I think the postman only leaves if you do the Andrew Cafe quest. I think otherwise he stays. The carpenter guys that are... Yeah, there's one of them down there. It's weird, he's like... Look at that. Did you see him, like, he was appearing and disappearing there, but it was when I got closer is when he disappeared. That's really odd. You think with how distance would be on that, it would be the opposite, but whatever. But yeah, the carpenters stay. I don't know if the mayor stays. I think the mayor leaves. Because I think his wife tells him that they need to leave, and so he does. I might have to look that up later. Which characters in Majora's Mask stay all the way through the moon crashing? Alright. Hi. You know, now that I was thinking about it too, this also kind of alludes to the fact that he's no longer in control too. Whenever he's like, he slaps his, when he slaps Tail and says, "Don't speak out of line," like, to me that's Majora saying that. It's not Skull Kid that's, like, it's not Skull Kid that's corrupted, it's just straight up, he has no control at that point. So kind of alluding to the fact, like, well, Skull Kid may be a dick, he wouldn't actively try to hurt his friends or anything like that. Oh, right, I already have it here. There we go. I was like, I don't want to look it up. I can remember the Oath to Order. It's kind of symmetrical, save for the last note. Well, in terms of the actual notes themselves, not the shape. Otherwise, it would go to a left note instead of a right, second to last note. Such a great job in this game with, like, the twitches and writhing around. It looks, like, legitimate. It looks legitimately creepy, even now. Like, as much as I do think this game does better than it does on the 3DS, and part of that is, it, like, stuff does look creepier with the older graphics. Like, you can look no further than the Silent Hill remake to know that the Silent Hill games are better on the OG files than they are on the newer ones. It's like, part of it you can rely on, like, the low polygons and lack of technology, at least compared to now, to make it seem like it's more creepy. But, I mean, you can make it look creepy now with, like, Nintendo Switch. It's just, like, something about this style, the N64 style, works for this game. And that's one of the things I don't think the 3DS works for. I don't think the style's as good. I think it looks, like, the game is too polished, if that makes any sense, in terms of graphics. I think for a corrupt, not glitchy, but erratic and creepy experience, having the graphics too polished hurts the game, honestly. I think having it, like, in some senses like that, having poor lighting so you can't see every little corner of everything, and you kind of wonder, like, oh, what's that off in the dark corner there? Can't really tell, don't know, can't really investigate it, nothing shows up, but there could be something there. Stuff like that. I think that's one of the key points why this game's better on the Nintendo 64. And the GameCube port's fine, because it's, like, it still uses the same models and assets. It's a port, it's not a remake. Also, the mouth was facing sideways. Why is it facing directly down again here? Also, thanks for the shot of looking up the moon's nose there. I appreciate that. Novissimo. We did it. Yeah, it wasn't the Skull Kid, that's why. He was slow. It's also not him. This is a really good musical piece right there. That little, like, faux happy ending. It was pretty good. Stop. Dude, he looks like he's straight up dead there, the Skull Kid. I mean, he's obviously not, because you see him in the ending scene. Definitely unconscious, though. Also, in case you thought the moon was already creepy, the moon with its mouth open is even creepier. So that's good. It's like, oh no. Wouldn't have what? See, now I'm curious what the rest of that line would be. Like, if I'd been stronger, the Skull Kid wouldn't have what? Like, what for you specifically? Like, referring to the fact that he ended up all alone? Like, that's not solely on him. Because for reference's sake, Tail is the younger brother. Tattle is the older sister, if I remember correctly. Tattle is definitely female. I'm pretty sure Tail is male. Okay, now you have this nice little beautiful tree. I love this. Like, the fact that it's just basically the calm inside of the storm is kind of cool. So yeah, you can do all these different challenges, and each of them are based on the different mask forms. So you can do the Deku one here, and you give him 2 masks that are non-transformation. Here's Georg's, where you do a Zora one for 6 total. And the other 2 guys. There's the one. This one's just straight up Link, for reference's sake. This is where you get the bomb chew. That's the final remaining item. You could have picked it up elsewhere in many different locations. I just didn't care to show it. Where's the other one? Where's Goat? Is that Goat? Yeah, that's a Goat. And that'll be a Goron challenge. The Goat one's easily the hardest one. The Zora one's actually really freaking easy. Deku one's kind of hard, but not too bad. And really, the Goron one's the only one that sucks. Will you play with me? Yes. You've only weak masks, so you play? Yep. Shall we go? So yeah, if you talk to all the kids and give them all the masks and whatnot, he'll say, like, you don't have any masks left. Here, we'll play good guys against bad guys, and you'll be the bad guy, and he gives you the deity mask. He's like, and when you're the bad guy, you run away, isn't that right? And then you start this fight. Also, it plays the creepy-ass, like, final night music. Ugh, it's so creepy. Don't like that. That's the only thing that, like, legitimately creeps me out in this game, is that song. It's just, ugh, it's just something about it. I don't know what it is, but it's something ain't right. Although, Georg, Goat, and Twin Mold. Though, really, it's just one of the pieces of the Twin Mold, so your mileage may vary. It'd be kind of cool if it adapted based on which one you killed last, because I did kill the blue one last, so. Anyway, let's fight a Majora, shall we? One singular Majora. Camera, could you please stop trying to clip to the ground? Thank you. Jump to it! Be your worst. Oh, I got Okay, so yeah, jump attack would have been the best call there. Alright, that's good to know next time. Now the masks pop off when they start fighting you as well. Which really isn't the end of the world because you can just, you know, hit them twice each and then go away. Hey! Hey! Knock it off. Yeah, you're not getting any more support from them. They're not coming back. They don't respawn. Out of here. Oh wow, that was enough to send him into phase 2. Alright. So 2 jump attacks and a stab. It probably still takes 3 hits minimum though. I don't think 2 jump attacks would have been enough. Now for phase 2. Majora's Chicken, also known as Majora's Incarnation. This is easily the simplest form. It's weird, but you just kind of just beat the snot out of it, really. Like, it just, yeah, just mash the spin, same as you would with Oldoa. It's not hard. And now for the final form, which is actually tough, and looks really freaking cool, by the way. Like, seriously, alternate costume for Link, anyone? Majora's Wrath. It up. Thanks. Oh, come on. Come on. Just fire. Just fire. All you gotta do is fire, Link. It's not that hard. Link, come on. Just fire. Just fire the arrow. Just fire the arrow. You can do it. There you go. Oh, that's new. How did that miss? Okay. I'm impressed that actually missed, because they didn't move at all, or block or dodge or anything. Alright, come on, really? Can I get up? Can I shield? Can I do something? No? Can you just send me through a wall? That's great too. Like, I literally can't move in this point. Like, I'm holding down shield and trying to move and it's not letting me. Yeah, I can't do anything. I literally cannot move out of this. Yeah, I can't move out of it. Oh, of course it missed. Make it count. Last time I did a 3-hour run of this game, that took several tries. I'm glad I got it in one that time. I have to remember that trick for the final phase, especially when it... I don't remember it doing that last time. I don't remember it literally putting me in an infinite loop that I could not escape. But I'll have to remember on that last one to, like, basically back up and don't use the Z targeting, just fire it manually, and then run up and damage it. And like everyone expected, the power of Rainbows has defeated the moon and completely screwed over the ocean's tides, I'm sure. I mean, really, logically speaking, that already happened because, you know, it was like right next to the Earth, but who's counting? I'm glad this final cutscene was, like, put in really bad not resolution, but in really bad frame rate. Ow. I was going to say, I really love that whole Dawn of a New Day scene right there, where it inverts the colors from black background and white text to black text, white background. It seems like every time I watch this ending, I get more and more of an appreciation for it. Not just for the skull, like, just as a whole, like, because I'm thinking forward to what else is going to happen here. I think it's because this one has more of a sense of... like, the journey for everyone still continues. The Giants might go back to sleep, but, like, Skull Kid's gonna keep living his life. The Masked Salesman will... I don't know if he's technically alive or not, but he'll keep doing whatever he's doing. With Ocarina, it feels like it's a sense of finality, save for, like, the very last moment of the cutscenes. And while that's cool for a storytelling purpose, since you know it's a very long series and neither Ocarina nor Majora is the end of that, not even close... I don't know, not having the finality almost seems better in a way. Because I kind of don't care for that Link to the Past either, because Link to the Past is like, let's see how everyone fared after this, and, you know, it's like, the Master Sword sleeps again forever. I'm like, well, that's BS, we know that's not going to happen. Also, that scene right there where he's, like, starting to cry again almost makes me think he was friends with the Mask Salesman, but it seems like up until he stole Majora's Mask that they had no connection to each other at all, but who knows? But my, you sure have managed to make quite a number of people happy. The masks you have are filled with happiness. This is truly a good happiness. He just disappears. Hence the is he really alive thing. That could also be him, you know, just going back to Hyrule instead of Termina. Because Link obviously does that as well. I also like the parting section here with Tattle. Is a lot better. Because, like, that's basically her crying right there. Is, you know, like, she tries to put the front of, like, you know, you can just go on about your business now, we don't need you here anymore. But she still does genuinely appreciate everything you've done. With Navi, it's just like, and then she left. Like, didn't say goodbye or anything, no tearful, like, farewell. Which is fine, because Navi's, for all intents and purposes, a robot. aside from waking you up at the very start of the game, so really who cares? Like, Navi is, bar none, one of, if not the weakest party characters. But I don't see a lot of people care for Tattle that much. And I'm not saying she's like Midna or King of Red Lions or even Fi, really. Fi's kind of hit and miss for me. Really, for Fi, I kind of go with the Chuck Conroy's idea. Like, as a character, great. As, like, a help guide, awful. But I do think Tattle has more personality as a result. She kind of has, like, not quite the full spark that Midna has, but, like, a little bit of that. Like, you can see the sass that's in her get put into other characters like Midna, like Tetra. Fitting we're hearing the Ballad of the Windfish when... at least at the time of playing this, it hasn't been, like, super new, but it's been, like, within the last couple weeks. They've announced Link's Awakening on the Switch. Which I'm excited for. I know some people are complaining about the graphics, but Zelda games, like all series games, go through a cycle of people hating them and loving them. Like, when this game came out, people hated it, so... Like, it scared me when I first played as a kid because of how dark it was, so I liked Ocarina more. But the second I actually played this game and beat it, I instantly liked it more than Ocarina. Also, yeah, here, this shows the postman's hat. He'd normally be running free in the fields right now if you did the side quest without his hat on. I don't know why it's showing the dancers, because I didn't help them, because that was for a piece of heart, and I was going for a 3-heart run. Perv guard? Yeah, there's the perv guard. If you actually help them dance, you'll see him creepily watching in the background. I did help all the fairies. Not sure what happens if you don't. It'd be funny just to see the very first one that you have to help to get the magic. Yeah, we did all that. Way to break the fourth wall there. Look at that dance. What a dance. That's basically me. That's my extent of, like, party hard. It's just like, go out, you know, enjoy the music for a little while. Just go back inside. Go to bed early. There's old Grog. Hang out with the Cuckoos, he's happy. Why are you behind the bar now? Did the other guy, like, have to go on a smoke break or something? He left you in charge? It's good to see, like, the worker again, but Haas, how'd you get in the door? You're huge. Now they've got the wasteland all to themselves, because the Gibdos have cleared out, even though the water's not running there, and it should be. Yeah, and here would be the point where you get to see them get married, though you never get to see what Cafe's face looks like as an adult, because frickin' Tingle is blocking it. He's throwing confetti by shredding up paper and just tossing it from his little perch in the sky. But all the townspeople are there to watch, you know, all the shop owners. I don't think the bombers are there, but I think all the adults are. I still say it's a shame that all the work for the couple's mask and it's only used for one thing. Two, if you count getting the deity mask. Yeah, and then the super sad part here, because you can't have it just be a happy ending for everybody. I think that's realistic, though. Deku Butler mourning his dead son. Which it's believed to be that the curse that was put on Link, the life of that Deku, was his son and it was taken away. Which is why when you race him, he's like, yeah, it reminds me of my son, is not just the race itself, is because Link carries around the mask that holds his son's spirit. Or did. I mean, I guess you never really see him use them again after this game, because that was kind of just the mechanic for Majora, so... Who knows what canonically happened to all the transformation masks. I would assume canonically all the non-transformation masks got lost inside of the moon when you trade them away, but who knows what happened with the other 4. The end. By playing a song that's not in Majora's Mask, I'm proud of you, game. That's an Oot song. It's an Oot song through and through. Well, I think since my nose is starting to stop up, probably due to the change in weather, that will be a good place to end for tonight. In the meantime, let's find ourselves a raid target, shall we? Where's my intermission page? Oh, there it is. I wasn't there, but it wasn't. Because that's just an internal screen. You can't get out of that unless you reset or turn the machine off, which I will do shortly. So let's take a look and see what else is streaming approximately this time. Like to be able to see that a little. Oh, it's doing Coliseum. Nice. Nice. Good Pokemon game. As somebody who's played it many a time. Shall raid Spood with our 1 viewer. Or our 2 viewers, rather. If you're a big fan of Pokemon Coliseum, you enjoyed watching Icarus play it, you can see how somebody who actually knows what they're doing plays it. She played it blind. See you guys on Saturday for more of Radiant Dawn's Coin Flip